Today I'm going to be learning more about Norway by looking at the top 10 amazing facts about Norway. So if you're from Norway, tell me if you already knew these. Tell me if there's any other interesting facts about Norway that are not on this list or on this video. And yeah, really looking forward to learning more about Norway. Let's check it out. Is that Norwegian music?
Number 10, Norwegian cuisine. Norwegian food consists of a lot of wild game and fish that are hunted within the region. It's not uncommon for Norwegians to eat reindeer meat and smoked salmon. One of the more popular dishes in Norway is served around Christmas time and is called pinnekjøtt. This dish is typically served with pureed swede, potatoes, beer, and akevitt. A very interesting dish to mention that Norwegians crave is Grandiosa frozen pizza. It's considered the unofficial food of Norway by Norwegians, and nearly 25 million Grandiosa pizzas are eaten every year by the small population of 5 million people.
Yeah, tell me if you tried this pizza. Is that true? I remember on the previous video on Geography Now, I learned that tacos are now very popular in Norway. But what about this pizza? Have you tried it before? Tell me more about reindeer meat as well. Is it tasty? What's the best way to cook it? I can imagine it would be very enjoyable to eat, just a nice hearty piece of meat. And yeah, tell me more about Norwegian salmon. Obviously, being from Scotland, we're quite proud of our salmon, but I know that Norway is probably the country known for having the best salmon in the world. Do you think that's true?
Number 9, Viking Festivals. Much like Renaissance festivals, Norway will hold annual Viking Festivals. Most events will take place in a Viking farmland at Bukay. The farm has several reconstructed buildings from the Viking Age, and the buildings help to create the unique atmosphere of the festival. One can expect recreations and reenactments of the Viking Age, sword fighting, interactive games for kids, souvenir shops, music, and the best part, lots and lots of food.
Yeah, tell me if you've ever taken part in one of them. Being from Scotland, again, we have similar things, more in the north of Scotland, but other areas too. There's different Viking events, and it's celebrated. Tell me if you've taken part in this. Tell me what the best thing to do at one of these Viking events is. It looks very interesting. Again, very unique to Northern Europe in this sort of region, but it looks cool.
Number 8, inventions. Perhaps the biggest invention to come out of Norway is the modern cheese slicer, also called a cheese plane, which was invented by Thor Bjorklund in 1925. Perhaps a more life-changing invention by a Norwegian, though, is mineral fertilizer, which was invented in the early 20th century by accident. Today, farmers across the globe depend on mineral fertilizer to feed their crops and ultimately keep up with the ever-progressing demand for food. Other breakthrough inventions include the aerosol spray can and the gas turbine.
Cool. Yeah, so tell me more about Norwegian inventions. I'm sure there's a lot more inventions that were not mentioned on this video. Tell me any other interesting ones. Maybe I'll try and find a video to react to about that as well. But tell me what invention you're most proud of being from Norway.
Number 7, cost of living. Norway has one of the highest cost of living rates in the world. Although studying at any college is free of charge, you still have to pay for books, which can be very costly. The food market is very expensive in Norway. Most Norwegians will actually travel to Sweden to buy their groceries and will spend nearly $2 billion a year by doing this.
Whoa, tell me if that's
Norway
if you've
gets
done that
98
before.
to 99% of its electricity from hydroelectric power, but electricity rates are relatively high compared to the rest of the world. Furthermore, Norway is one of the highest crude oil exporters in the world, but will boast some of the highest petrol prices for its citizens. Number 6.
Yeah, so tell me more about that. Have you traveled to Sweden to do your grocery shopping? Is it that much cheaper? Also, yeah, with the, it was mentioning just about the cost of living. Over the last couple of years, the cost of living inflation has increased quite dramatically in a lot of countries like the UK, US, different places. Is that the same in Norway as well? Have you noticed an increase in the cost of living, even though Norway is such an expensive place to live?
6. No more Walmart. Norwegians are well known for being human rights activists and for their conscious efforts to protect the environment. In 2006, Norway stopped investing money into Walmart after determining that the company is guilty of serious violations of fundamental ethical norms.
Wow, interesting.
Likewise, Norway's government also excluded shares in mining group Freeport McMoran Copper and Gold from the fund, one of the world's biggest pension funds, for environmental reasons.
Well, I've never heard anybody mention that about Walmart, but again, with regards to the Norwegian way of life being so environmentally conscious, I think it's a great stand that they took. So was Walmart actually a shop in Norway before that? What is the most popular supermarket in Norway
Number
actually?
5. Oh, Christmas Tree. Many people know the story of the Statue of Liberty. In 1886, the Statue Liberty Monument was given to the United States from France to celebrate the friendship between the two during the American Revolution. However, not many people know the story of the Trafalgar Square Christmas tree. The people of Oslo, Norway, donate the Trafalgar Square Christmas tree to the British every year in gratitude to the people of London for their assistance during World War II. This tradition has been going strong since 1947.
That's cool. And yeah, on the Geography Now video, it mentioned about Norway giving Scotland one too, which I was very happy to hear. Really cool that there's one in London, in the UK as well. But tell me what you think about the UK as a country, what you think about British people, Scottish people. I'd love to hear your opinions and thoughts.
Number 4. The Knighted Penguin. Becoming knighted is probably the most prestigious and highest honors an individual can receive. Some famous persons who have been knighted include Bill Gates, Sean Connery, Bob Hope, Clint Eastwood, Paul McCartney, and Elton John. Norwegians took this a step further, and in 2008, they knighted a penguin. The penguin goes by the name of Nils Olaf and is considered the only mascot to the King's Guard. Currently, a 4-foot bronze statue is on display at the Edinburgh Zoo in Scotland.
I had no idea. That's another cool connection with Scotland. I don't live in Scotland anymore. I live in Malaysia. I've lived in Asia for the last like 12, 13 years. Next time I go back, I'll have to check that out, man, and see. That's really
Number
cool.
3. Luxurious prisons.
I've heard this one before.
In 1999, Norway granted refuge to a U.S. drug smuggler because the Norwegian Supreme Court declared that U.S. prisons do not meet minimal humanitarian standards. This doesn't come as a huge surprise, as Norwegian prisons are among the most glamorous in the entire world. In fact, most Norwegian prisons are higher class than most hotel rooms found in the United States. Having no death penalty and no life sentences, one would think that Norway would have a high incarceration rate. However, they have one of the lowest in the world, just a mere 72 inmates per 100,000 people. This number is 1/10 of the amount that the United States incarcerates.
I mean, comparing to the US is a bit of an unfair one, because it seems like in the US they just jail anybody for like minor crimes and so on. And obviously with them having that sort of like system where prisoners have to actually work and earn money. But the Norwegian prison system is one I'm very intrigued, especially with what you see, how the amenities of the prisons look very almost luxurious for a prison. But just with regards to the system itself, what do you think about that being Norwegian? Do you think it's a good system? Obviously the numbers are very low, but is that because of the facilities, or is that just because of low conviction rates, or what's the reason for that?
Number 2, I can't believe we ran out of butter. In late 2011, Norway went through a nationwide butter shortage, where smugglers would often get caught smuggling butter and online auctions for the golden nectar. This was due to the heavy rains during the summer, which affected the grazing of cows and reduced their milk productions. Estimates were as high as $70 US for a single 8.8 ounce or 250 gram tub of butter. Because of the shortage, supermarkets would sell out of butter within minutes of getting new shipments. And many Swedes capitalized on the event by smuggling butter across the border.
Tell me if
Number
you knew
one,
about that.
Winter
That's crazy.
Olympic champions. If you watched our top 10 awesome facts about Finland video, you would know that they hold the record for most Summer Olympic medals per capita. Norway, on the other hand, can boast that they've won the most Winter Olympic medals total, but not just by per capita. Norway has won the largest number of gold, silver, and bronze medals of all countries in the Winter Olympics. To date, Norwegians have won a whopping 329 medals, while the United States has won 281. Furthermore, Norwegian athlete Ole Einar Bjørndalen is the most decorated Winter Olympian of all time with 13 medals, 8 of which are gold.
Well, tell me how he's remembered and what's his legacy within Norway. Is he like a sporting hero? But yeah, I seen that stat for the first time on the Geography Now video. I was very impressed. I guess it makes sense, obviously, given that Norway seems like a very healthy country, also has the weather for the Winter Olympics to practice things like skiing and all these winter sports. But it's still an amazing stat based on the population of Norway being just over 5 million people. I think it's an amazing achievement. I didn't know about it. I'm very happy to know about it as I love sports. Or maybe what's your most memorable Winter Olympics gold medal win for Norway? But tell me what you think about these. Did you know all of these facts? And keep recommending more videos about Norway for me to check out. I'll check them out soon. Thanks.